We begin with this latest development where the ECOWAS Community of West African States is considering the use of force to restore constitutional order in Niger Republic. At the ECOWAS Extraordinary Summit held in Abuja earlier today, President Bola Tinubu, who is the chairman of ECOWAS heads of states and government, described the coup in Niger Republic as an assault on ECOWAS. One of the resolutions made at the extraordinary session is the imposition of a no-fly zone on Niger Republic, and ECOWAS also warned the military junta that it will be held responsible for the safety of President Mohammed Bazoum and his family. The body ordered the relevant authorities to freeze financial assets of Niger Republic.
One of us, His Excellency Mohammed Bazoum, is in hostage by his own army. A presidential guard. What a calamity. It's an assault on every one of us. And we must take a very strong action. We want to protect the life of President Bazoum. Disrupting the democratic order has left the people in a state of uncertainty and vulnerability. But we have to face the challenge that we have right now.
And for more on this, I'm being joined by Paul Ejime, a international affairs analyst, and he joins me from London. Good to have you on the news at this time. So first off, let's have your thoughts on the current political crisis in Niger, what you make of it, and the response from the West African leaders.
Thank you, Esther. Well, it goes without saying that it is another sad commentary on the fact, reinforcing the fact that democracy is taking a back burner in Africa, and particularly West Africa, which is considered the coup zone. Unfortunately, West Africa bears that notorious name because of the raft of coups that it has had in the 90s and 80s, but which are now reappearing. So for Niger, Niger is also not a stranger to military coups since its independence from France in 1960. It is probably the fifth or so. And even President Bazoum, before he took power, after his election in last year, there was an attempted coup, and diplomatic sources actually said that there was one this year, but which was not widely reported. So it was a matter of the political instability and fragility and vulnerability, like President Tinubu has said, has always been there. But he has also been a great ally of the West. The U.S. has about 1,500 troops there, and some of them are training Niger soldiers. France has about more than 1,000. After they were sacked from Mali, they were relocated there. So, and they've been, Bazoum and Niger have been playing supporting the West and France. So it is rather strange that this type of coup will happen without their knowledge or their support. But what is clear is that perhaps there is some political power struggle both within the army, and maybe because the man who installed Bazoum, former President Mahamadou Issoufou, is said to have fallen out of favor. They both have fallen out of favor. And because the man who is now leading the coup used to be the head of presidential guard to President Isufu, who is also now, who has turned from presidential guard to an abductor. Or, you know, if President Tinubu will say that he's been held hostage. But that is what it is. And as to the response, well, I think the sanctions, no-fly zone, I don't know how they will enforce that. The financial sanctions, yes, that can work if effectively, if it's, you know, people are sincere about it. But force, I think the force here, they are talking about if it is military, the use of military power, that has its problems because already the coup leaders have said that they will not entertain any external interference. So if that is the case, I don't see ECOWAS going for confrontation because that will endanger the life of President Bazoum that they are trying to protect.
Right.
It could be bloody and then even trigger an internal strife or even a war between Nigerians and who appear to be supporting the coup makers and any country that is coming against the coup.
All right, let me quickly ask you this next question. How might this situation now in Niger have broader implications, that is, for governance and democracy in West Africa, and what measures do you think could be adopted to avoid a future reoccurrence in the West African region?
Well, a combination of measures. One, now, like I said, military option will be a high-risk option that maybe the last resort, maybe the ECOWAS and us saying the right thing, trying to make sure that to sound tough, so that the leaders know that they are serious. But sounding tough is one thing, and then acting tough. You know, you have to walk the talk. The fact that 3 countries, Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso, have done what the people, the army in Niger has done, shows that it's now becoming a trend. And what is the cause? You are asking me, how can this be arrested? The causes have to do with the fact that, there is no good governance. Leadership is lacking. Leaders are rigging elections, they are changing constitutions, and they have failed to deliver on their electoral promises. But Niger and these other countries I have mentioned are suffering from insecurity problems, terrorism, and then Islamic insurgency. And the countries that have promised them to help, it appears that it's not working. And meanwhile, Niger, for instance, is one of the poorest. Well, I tell you something, it's otherwise one of the richest countries. It has uranium, which countries like US, France, they are mining and using that to develop their own country, while Nigerians are living in darkness and in poverty. And that is, these are the things that are bringing disaffection and then bad governance.
Right.
So it is, unless and until you address the issue of governance, these eruptions or incursions will continue. Because when you carry out political coups or electoral coups, you are only cutting a military coup.
Indeed. And so we're in the fine place to leave it. What's your final thoughts on this and how this matter can be addressed completely?
I think that, yes, they have to engage the rulers and then be sincere about, there is no need in being, showing, giving, your body language matters. They have to show these people that they are serious, because it is because the ECOWAS and the AU, they have shown that they are not serious. That is why the coups are happening. And until and unless they walk the talk, show by example. You can't say you don't want a coup, but you are busy carrying out political and electoral coups, and stamping on the freedom of citizens, denying them the basics of life, food on the table. They're suffering a lot of hardship in the region. So if these are not addressed, they will erupt.
All right, and that's a fine place to leave it. Mr. Paul Ejime, we appreciate your insights on the news at this time. Many thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me.